guys! So today I am here to do a highly requested video. Now, the number one question people ask me is if I notice a dip in my supply when I work out, and the answer is yes, I do. I guess the good thing in my case is that I did have an oversupply at first. So, you know, when I started to kind of lose that supply a little bit, it wasn't a bad thing, but then it got to the point where it was like, okay, you know, I need to do something to not necessarily up it, but at least maintain it. So these are the things that I do to help my supply while I'm working out. Now, I'm gonna start by just putting this out there. This is what works for me. That doesn't mean it's gonna work for anybody else. I am not a lactation consultant. I am not a doctor. I am nothing of the sort. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm just a person who is passionate about working out and breastfeeding. So today I'm going to tell you my tips on how I keep my supply up while trying to get fit. Okay, so one of my biggest, best tips that I have is to drink tons and tons of water. This is 48 ounces of pure mermaid awesomeness, but what I love about it is that it's huge, it can fit a ton of water, and I carry this around with me all day long. All day long, and I fill it up multiple times. So I would say get a giant cup like this. It's a lot easier to drink a ton of water if you have, at least for me, if I have a big container to put it in. On top of water, to make sure that I'm staying hydrated, because most days when I go to the gym, I am working out pretty hard. I will also add Gatorade or coconut water sometimes. Gatorade always gives me a boost, which there's no scientific proof that it does, you know, anything special, but it works for me. Coconut water does as well, but not as well as Gatorade does, but it is more natural and better, so it's probably better to stick with coconut water over Gatorade. And then another thing that gives me a little boost when I need it is this organic mother's milk tea. I do not like how this tastes at all, but it really does give me a boost if I really, really need one, if my supply dips. Now, this does contain fenugreek and blessed thistle, so you have to be a little cautious with supplements, because I know that fenugreek can react negatively if you have any kind of blood sugar issues or anything like that. So just before you start this, it's probably good to talk to your doctor first, but it is something that you might be able to add to your diet if you need it. Okay, so another thing that I do to help my supply on the days that I'm working out, I make sure that I add brewer's yeast and flaxseed meal to whatever I have for breakfast. So brewer's yeast is the main thing that seems to help supply. Flaxseed, I don't know if it's just good for you or if it works together, exactly how that works, but they do work well together to help bump your supply up. So for breakfast, on days that I work out, I either do oatmeal and add this to the oatmeal, because oats are another thing that can help your supply. Sometimes I do protein shakes. I have a really good organic protein powder that I use, and I will make protein shakes and blend these up in it, or smoothies. I mean, you can really add this stuff to most things. This is a little bitter and a little salty, so it doesn't taste the best, but if you put it in smoothies and stuff, sometimes you can cover up that taste, and it's not so bad. You can also make lactation cookies with these, and I did that before Ellie was born and made a huge batch of lactation cookies and put them in the freezer, and so when I need a boost, I'll eat some of those as well. You can find a ton of good recipes on Pinterest for lactation cookies. They're really easy. It's just basically a cookie recipe with the addition of this, and then I add nuts to it because nuts are really good as well. Going on the whole nut thing, almonds are supposed to be really great for your supply, so I can add those to cookies, almond milk, all that stuff really helps too. Another really important thing when you're working out really hard and burning a lot of calories while trying to make milk is to make sure that you are eating enough calories. So I have to eat frequently throughout the day. I need snacks all the time. I try to do healthier snacks that are more calorie dense, like Lara bars and things like that, or a handful of nuts. You know, they're full of good fats and calories. That's what you really need. I've noticed for me that when I try to cut out carbs and fats and calories, like that is not the way to do it, because your supply is going to probably tank, and that's bad. So it's hard because, you know, you're going to the gym, you're working out so hard and you want to see these immediate results, but you guys have to keep in mind that when you're breastfeeding, rapid weight loss is usually not your friend. That is not what you want, and that's so hard. But just try to keep in mind that going to the gym every day, although you might not necessarily see super fast results because you have to eat more, you know, to kind of balance out all the calories you're burning at the gym so you can still make milk, and it's crazy. So you might not necessarily see results as quickly, but you're still doing such good things for your body. So it is hard, and I felt really defeated many times because I'm like, okay, why can't I fit in my pants again? Why do I still look like this? Why am I still jiggly? Like, it's not fun to be in that stage, and I'm still there. But the most important thing is making sure your baby has all the milk that they need. So weight loss will come. It just may come slowly because you really do have to balance eating more and working out and doing all of these things. Another thing, I noticed that, so when I first started going back to the gym, I was doing cardio for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I would go do my circuit training, whatever I was working on that day, legs, arms, core, whatever. And I would do the circuit training for about 45 minutes, or maybe a little longer depending on the day. So I was doing that 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So that's actually a lot of, that's a lot of physical activity. And I noticed that that was a little bit too much, and my body like went into total shock and my supply did drop. It wasn't enough that it caused any problems. I was able to get it back up, but I did have to scale down my workouts a little bit. So I think it's really important to just monitor what you're doing and making sure that you're not overdoing it. So I had to scale down my cardio by at least 10 minutes. So now it's more like 15 minutes cardio, sometimes 20 if I'm just like on a roll and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. But then maybe I'll scale down my circuit training if I go a little harder in cardio that day. Also, there's been a couple times where I've had to stop going to the gym for a couple days if I'm like a little bit too uncomfortable with where my supply's at. I can tell that my breasts aren't filling up as much and Ellie seems a little bit fussier, or she just wants to eat more. That usually means that she wants more milk. So, I will take a couple days off from the gym, and that's okay. That is okay. Now, on those days off, I still like to do light activities, like we'll go for walks, we'll do things like that, and then on Pinterest, there's a ton of awesome workouts that you can just say I wanted to do leg day and do. I can just type in leg and butt exercises, and it comes up with so many things. So, just doing one of those, or a couple of those, is way scaled down from what I'm doing at the gym, but still a good exercise. Still doing something. And, when I do those little workouts at home, I notice no difference in supply. So you don't have to just stop activity, but really scale it down when you notice any kind of drops or anything like that. And just try to hydrate and eat a lot of calories and get it back up. If I do that a day or two, my supply shoots right back up. It's no issues. I've never run into any long-term problems with that. Another thing that's really good for your supply is a power pumping session during the day. I like to do that between the time that they go to bed and I go to bed. I'll do a power pumping session just for like 10 minutes, not a big deal, but it tells your body to make more milk. The thing about breast milk is the more you remove, that signals your body to make more. So that is the most efficient way to build your supply, is to remove milk, whether that be feeding your baby or pumping or doing whatever. And your body is going to keep producing more to try to keep up with that demand. Alright guys, well these were my tips on how to keep up your milk supply while you're working out. Stay hydrated, make sure you're eating enough and good foods that are filled with a lot of fat and calories and things that your body really needs to make the milk for your baby. Make sure you're not pushing yourself too hard because the weight will come off eventually. And I know it's hard and it can be a long process, but it is so worth it to make sure your little one is getting what they need while you're still meeting your own needs as well. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that I clarified some things for you guys. If you still have questions, ask down below and I will do my best to answer them. But I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm thinking about you, I'm praying for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.